The babysitter quit because of your kids. I stare at my phone, Derek's text burning a hole in my screen, blaming me before I even know what happened. Classic. I'm at a community center meeting, helping organize a free after-school program for kids who need a safe place to hang out. It's work I believe in. But that text made my stomach drop. I packed up my things, mumbled an excuse, and drove home faster than I should have. When I walked in, the house was silent. Too silent. No kids running around, no TV, no chaos, just quiet. On the kitchen table, next to a cold cup of coffee Derek left hours ago, sat a single envelope. Official looking. Certified, from Child Protective Services. Addressed to me. Unopened. I'm Emily and I'm 34. I work as a family support coordinator at a local nonprofit. It's my job to help struggling parents find resources, navigate counseling, understand the system. It's meaningful work, but it doesn't pay much. Never has. My husband Derek comes from money. His family owns a few car dealerships in town, the kind that sponsor little league teams and have their names on banners. They live in the big house on the hill with the circular driveway. I'm the daughter of a retired mechanic and a school secretary. We had enough, but we never had extra. I wasn't what they wanted for their precious son. At family dinners, they'd talk about stock portfolios and their ski trips to Vail while I sat there quietly, pushing food around my plate. I knew what they thought of me, the charity case. The girl Derek chose despite his parents' wishes, but what they never understood was what my parents actually gave me: resilience, empathy, and the ability to spot a liar from across a crowded room. My job taught me how family systems really work, how child welfare investigations actually function. I had knowledge they couldn't buy with all their dealership money. I just never needed to use it until now. If you've ever been made to feel like the less than member of your own family, hit that subscribe button. I want to hear your story in the comments. Let's get into this. Earlier that day, before the text, before the letter, I had a fight with Derek's mom, Patricia. The kind that makes your face hot and your hands shake. It was about my oldest son, Leo. His birthday's coming up, and Patricia wanted to buy him a $500 drone. $500 for a 7-year-old. I told her no, flat out. We're teaching Leo about saving money, about understanding value. A drone that expensive would send the wrong message. He'd learn nothing from it. Patricia looked at me like I'd grown a second head. Then she laughed. Actually laughed. And in front of the whole family she said, "Well, Emily, with your background, I understand why you'd think that way. But we want Leo to have the best." My background. She meant my father fixing cars, my mother answering phones at an elementary school. She meant I wasn't good enough to decide what my own son should receive. I didn't respond. I just stood there, took the hit, and went back to loading the dishwasher. But I remembered. I always remember. So when I got home to that CPS letter, my blood ran cold. I opened it with shaking fingers. Official notice of investigation. Allegation: environmental neglect. Our house is modest, but it's spotless. The kids have beds, food, clothes, love. The only way this happens is if someone filed a complaint, a mandated reporter, someone with standing. And the only people I know who would weaponize something like this are Derek's family. The babysitter quitting wasn't the real story. It was just the excuse to get me home alone, to find that letter by myself, to let the fear sink in before Derek showed up. Derek came home about an hour later. He acted concerned, put his hand on my shoulder, asked if I was okay. But when I asked who called it in, he got quiet. Then he said, "My parents are just worried about the kids' environment. Maybe if you just apologized for the drone thing, they'd make it go away." Apologize? He wanted me to apologize to make an investigation disappear. Like I had done something wrong by protecting my son from becoming spoiled. A few days later, I got excluded from a family birthday dinner for Derek's dad. The official reason? It might be awkward with the investigation. Awkward. My family's treating me like a criminal at my own in-laws event. Then Patricia called me. Her voice was so sweet it made my teeth hurt. "Emily, dear, we're just so worried. The house is so small, and those kids have no space to run and play. We just want what's best for them. Maybe they'd be better off staying with us for a while." Just until things get sorted out, she was threatening to take my kids. Using the system she probably manipulated to get this investigation started in the first place. Here's what they didn't know, what they could never have predicted. My job has taught me one thing above all else: document everything. Every conversation, every threat, every tiny detail. Paper is proof. Proof is power. For years, I've kept a private journal. Nothing fancy, just a notebook where I wrote down every snide comment Patricia made, every time I got excluded from a family photo, every holiday where they made sure I knew I didn't belong. I have texts from Derek where he admits his mom is crazy and controlling. His own words. But the real gold? A few months ago, Patricia accidentally sent me a text meant for Derek. It was a photo of a receipt. A $2,000 gift to the head of the local family court judge's re-election campaign, and her caption read, "This should keep things in our favor if we ever need it." I saved that photo. Screenshot, back up the whole thing. I didn't know why at the time, but I had a feeling. Call it intuition, call it paranoia, call it knowing exactly who I married into. I wasn't going to fight their lies with my word. I was going to fight them with their own. I called Margaret the next morning. She's a 68-year-old family lawyer, no nonsense, tweed suits, reading glasses on a chain. She handled my parents' modest estate when they passed away. She's a pit bull disguised as a grandmother, and she hates bullies more than anything. I brought her everything. My journals, the text screenshots, the photo of Patricia's receipt. Margaret read through it all, looked at me over her glasses, and grinned. "Emily, this isn't a defense. This is a trebuchet." Meanwhile, Derek's family grew bolder. Patricia called a family meeting at her mansion to discuss the children's future. Her words, like I wasn't even their mother. Derek told me to just go along with whatever they said. Keep the peace. Don't rock the boat. I didn't argue, I just showed up. Patricia's living room is sprawling, all marble floors and white furniture nobody actually sits on. The whole family was there. Derek's dad in his leather chair, his two siblings and their spouses perched on the couches. They were all looking at me like I was about to be sentenced. Patricia started. She had that sympathetic smile, the one that's supposed to make you feel like they're doing you a favor by destroying you. "Emily, we've had a long talk, and we've decided it's best if the boys come to stay with us for a while, just until you get some things sorted out. Get back on your feet. We have the space, the resources. It's what's best for everyone." She looked around the room. Everyone nodded like this was totally normal. Like taking someone's children wasn't the most violating thing you could do to a parent. I didn't cry. I didn't shout. I just reached into my bag and pulled out a folder. Thick, packed with paper. "Patricia," I said, calm and steady, "I have a few things to sort out first." I looked at Derek. "I have the texts you sent me about your mom, the ones where you said she was crazy and controlling. I have 3 years of them." Then I turned to Patricia. The room was so quiet I could hear the grandfather clock ticking. "And I have the photo of the receipt you sent to Derek, the one for the $2,000 gift to the judge's campaign, with your caption about keeping things in your favor." Her face went gray, completely lost all color. I kept going. "My lawyer Margaret has already filed a motion with the State Judicial Conduct Board, complete with that photo. So here's where we are. If you want to continue this conversation about my parenting, we can. In front of a judge who will be very interested to see how you tried to buy influence in a case involving my minor children. Or you can drop this ridiculous CPS charade, apologize to me right now, and never speak to me or my children like this again. Ever." Patricia stammered. Tried to lie, said the text was taken out of context. But the photo was right there. Undeniable. Derek just stared at his shoes like they were the most interesting things he'd ever seen. The CPS case was closed the next day. Apparently the complaint was withdrawn. Funny how that works. Derek moved out a month later, couldn't look me in the eye. His family's social standing in this town took a hit when the story of their attempted bribery quietly made its way around. Nothing official, just whispers. But in a small town, whispers are enough. I got full custody. Full custody of my boys, full ownership of my life. I'm still in my modest house. Still doing my job helping families who struggle. Still driving the same car, shopping at the same grocery store. But now I walk a little taller. I learned something that money can't buy. The greatest weapon against people who use power to hurt others isn't more power. It's proof, and the courage to use it. Has someone with more money or influence ever tried to use the system against you? Have you ever had to fight to protect what's yours? Subscribe and share your story in the comments. Let's show them we're stronger than their schemes. Click hype to help this story reach others who need to know they can fight back. If this story resonated with you, please give it a like and click hype to help it reach more people who need to hear it. Your voice matters in our community. Share your own experience in the comments below. I'm reading.